So we are here. It's the last in this installment of this whipped sugar soap scrub playlist. And it's been a journey. We've done so much. I'm glad that you've been here with me to support me in all of the things. Hopefully I've been supporting you in your things. All the things. And today is the final test day. And it's one that you should definitely stick around for. And I will tell you why you should stick around for it, why I'm doing it in the first place, and all the things in just a minute. But before I do, hello, I am Mrs. Soap and Clay. Let's make stuff. How's it going, Sudsers? Welcome back to the channel. You are at Soap and Clay, where we make all the soapy things, and you are here for day 353 of 365 days of soap. And as I said, today is the last in this install of the Whipped Sugar Soap Scrubs playlist, and we are testing everything that we've made up to this point, plus a whipped sugar soap that I found from 2019 that is made with a completely surfactant-based foaming soap thing, because that's the last time I used anything like that in my whipped sugar soap scrubs. And I'm actually doing this for a very good reason, because a lot of people have questions about what happens when they sit. How long can they sit? Does the sugar dissolve? All of the things. And while I did recommend to you, let's just do a chemistry test and just see how long it takes for like sugar to dissolve in glycerin and all the things, we're going to show you a real world example of what these all look like after they've had an opportunity to settle. And so for some of these, again, they've been sitting for 2 weeks. For others, in the case of that bright blue one that I showed you in the first video, and also the one that I'm going to show you today, they've been sitting for a long time. One is at least a year old, the other one is 3 years old. So let's get to the video. We're going to check the consistency, we're going to check the graininess, we're going to check the application and the buffing nature, and of course we're going to check that lather, because that's what we're all about. We're all about that lather, baby. So let's get to the video and we can do all those things. Okay, so the final test of all of these, and let's see if I can remember them all from left to right. I mean, first up, it's the first recipe, the one that started it all. So the original from soap paste with 50% olive oil, 30% coconut oil, 15% mango butter, 5% castor at a 5% super fat, 7 ounces of water, 7 ounces of glycerin. I can't do the rest, actually. I'm not that good. So let's see what the first one has done in the past 2 weeks of sitting. Now, as you can see, that one's nearly empty, because I've actually used the crap out of that one just generally, while my arms and hands are not getting exfoliated these days because it was a lot. You gotta buff those gams. And so, yeah, there it is. And also, just as a reminder, the bright blue one here is at least a year old. I did it in a video a year ago, at least. And so that's what that original recipe looks like after a year of being in a container. Still great sugar. And the lather does actually get better. So keep that in mind. Now, I'm not going to do the exfoliation thing on my arms again for this. A, it'll take forever. 2, I don't want to. I have exfoliated my arms and my hands so much with all of this. It's been kind of a wild ride. Yes. Now, this guy is the second that we did with the 100% coconut oil soap that we shredded up, turned into soap shreds, and then used, the same method to create a soap paste. And as you can see, already a huge bubble payoff because coconut oil. And don't find any drying properties with this for me right now. So that's something. But also do keep in mind that this is the first time that my hands have been really attached to soap, like washing them, for about 3 hours today because I've been actually master batching. So I might have some oils that I'm getting, I have to get through with all of this beforehand. So I don't know, might be drying to you is the point. Now, this was the all tallow one. Very, very thick consistency. I played around a lot with the avocado oil. The particular one that I kept out is the one that I did not incorporate more oil into. And it doesn't feel waxy and weird. It really doesn't. It feels a bit slimy right now. And the lather, it's there. There's a lather to it. So there's definitely that. Now, this one is the one that I told you about during the surfactant video. And it is the last soap that I made out of a 100% surfactant recipe. And that was in 2019. So saith the batch code. So there's that. And it still has good sugar in it. It still looks great in the package. And look, it bubbles. It's a thing. It's delightful. So there you go. That's what the surfactant recipe looks like and performs in the, whipped sugar soap scrub version of it. No separation, no loss of sugars with any of them. So there's that. Now, we're going to do this one next. And what did I do with the orange one? Do you remember? This was troubleshooting by decreasing the water. And as you can see, when it sets up, it actually gets kind of thick. So the scoopability of that by reducing the water isn't quite there. I feel like it's too thick for my personal interests and desires. Lather's good though. But you might like a firmer, whatever. So if you are okay with having a firmer end product and you're reducing the water so it's a better pipeable consistency for you, there is an option. Now, the pink is delightful with all of its big, beautiful, whippy gorgeousness. Isn't that lovely? Look at all those holes in there. And look, that's like lamination or something. It's not called lamination, but, something in the baking world when it's all aerated and beautiful like that. I don't think it's lamination. But anyway, that one is the one that we put meringue powder in to thicken it up after we had put the sugar in. So there you go. That's the thickener version. And just a nice foamy lather, which is just delightful. Love to see it. And the final two would be, the Holy Grail soaps, right? So that's going to be the adding the surfactants at 10% for that guy and 20% for the green. And that's a nice consistency there. That's pretty nice. So original soap paste recipe. And the only thing we changed was we added equal parts of cocoa betaine and SCI at 10% of the total batch weight before the sugar goes in. And it's delightful. Nice, tiny, tight little bubbles. Very cleansing, but still you get the moisturizing and all the things. And yes, my head is all up in it today. My camera has been weird for this entire, video series, and I haven't bothered trying to fix it. So this is the one at 20%. And that was the one that I overfilled because I didn't know what to do with everything that was in that piping bag. So it did settle a little bit around the sides, but, gravity's a thing. And at 20%, wow, look at that big lather payoff right away. It's delightful. Love to see it. So there's that. There are all kinds of different options. We did 6 days of whipped sugar soap scrubs. We talked about the chemistry. We talked about the process. We talked about, the basic kind of logical needs that you would need. Yep, there's my head too. It's all up in there. I'm not editing it out at this point, you guys. I'm not going to. Sorry. But yeah, we did all the things. We talked about it all. We did all the recipes, all the total recipes, and all of the tips and tricks and reminders and cheat sheets and everything. They are available in the Discord for all of the sudsers, all of the Discord sudsers and the things. But there it is. It's 6 different days, quite a few actual different varieties when it's all said and done because of the modifications we made. But all things whipped sugar soap scrubs. I had a blast. And there it is, a whole bunch of tests on whipped sugar soap scrubs. And boy, are my arms and hands exfoliated at this point. It's a lot, for sure. But yeah, there it is. And it's interesting to see how they change just after 2 weeks of sitting, for sure. And so let that also be a lesson to you. If you saw anything that you didn't particularly like as far as the consistency was, when it was first being poured or piped, thank you for being with me for my weird piping skills as well for this. Just trust the process and look at it in a couple weeks and see how it, settles in. They don't get more runny. In fact, the opposite is always true, just because that glycerin in there and the nature of what glycerin does when mixed with cold processed soap. So just keep that in mind. And, now you have a visual of all the different types and you can pick your favorite at this point. I definitely have some favorites in that line too. And if you do, drop them below. Let me know what they are. For sure. That would be awesome. I think that you guys are all awesome for being here for this playlist. I like this new thing, doing these playlists and just sort of diving real deep in sort of manageable little videos, talking about each process, one right after the next, into one dedicated playlist. It feels more efficient, and so I'm liking that. I was hoping to get another playlist back to basics thing out before the end of year 2. It's actually what I was working on when this thing got posted on Spawnification Nation, and I kind of stopped that one to address this. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it out because I also have a lot of other fun content that I was planning on releasing between now and the end of year 2. But, there is year 3, and the members of the channel and the Discord members, they know what year 3 content is, and so they do know that playlists will be a very big part of it. So essentially, deep dives on process, as well as the deep dives that we continue to do on the legalities, the business side of, soap making and, just small businesses in general, the companies, the trademarks, the patents, the copyrights, and all of that. So we will continue to do those deep dives as well as these playlists, and also something very, very special for the sudsers that I'm so over the moon excited about, and it sounds like they are too. But, for those of you who aren't members, you don't know that yet. So you're just going to have to wait until year 3 to find all that out, really. But I appreciate you being here with me for the end of this playlist. I hope you guys found it informative and fun. I had fun. Thank you. I'm out of here for today, and I will be back tomorrow for another round of something. I don't know that I would call it soapy fun, but it is definitely a thing. Bye.